we are. We are live. Hey, everybody. This is Scotty Milas. Welcome to another episode of Rapid Fire Q&A. I am the founder of Rapid Fire Q&A, along with my wonderful, wonderful marketing right arm, Wendi Hill, president and founder of Market Momentum.
Hello.
Welcome, Wendi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, my gosh.
I know, 2026, but Rapid Fire Q&A. We answer questions that have come in through our website, social media, questions that have been asked through my consultations with clients I'm working with. If you have a question you'd like to submit, you can email me, scotty@theperfectfranchise.com. Reach out to Wendi Hill on LinkedIn. She can give you some information if you like. And, of course, visit our websites for making any comments, theperfectfranchise.com, scottmilasfranchisecoach.com. And don't forget to visit All Things Considered Franchising. Our podcast continues to grow, almost 120 episodes, every type of category on franchising you can imagine. And of course, the blog and everything else. So, Wendi, the rodeo is yours.
Well, thank you. This month we have 6 questions, and I reworked them a little bit, so they're fill in the blank again for you. So
okay, all right. Stump Scotty, as they say.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should call it. All right, number 1, a franchise opportunity becomes risky when the buyer assumes blank.
That the franchisor or the brand is going to do all the work for them, and there's absolutely no reason to do validation, get the FDD reviewed, and so forth by a franchise attorney. Franchise people who are interested in franchising, becoming business ownership, and talking to specific brands really need to understand that an educational process to get information to make an informed, validated decision is crucial in making the right decision. Anyone who assumes, we know what assumes means. We know the lingo there, so we won't get into it. But you really have to validate. So you create your risk, increase your risk for failure if you're assuming by not validating with the brand and talking to existing franchisees within the system.
Okay, good. Number 2, people underestimate how much franchise success depends on blank.
You know, I was trying to, I'm trying to figure out the best way to answer this question. For anything that you do that becomes successful, there has to be a commitment, especially in franchising, to the process and to follow the process. If you're underestimating the process or questioning the brand and whether they can support you, then you shouldn't move forward. But you can't underestimate the things that are important: the validation, the process, the steps, the support. There are just so many different things that you have to look at, and that's why our educational process, what we offer our clients, helps you dot those I's and cross those T's.
Okay, good answer. Number 3, the moment I know someone is thinking like an owner, not a buyer, is when they ask about blank.
The success rate, being wanting to talk to franchisees, willing to validate, really willing to work out a pro forma, willing to talk about financing, all the bullet points that are important in the educational process. You can always sense when somebody's just kind of, skipping over the things that are important. They're not serious. And the other thing that I would say here is we need to address that person's pain. There's that old saying, no pain, no gain, no
Right.
gain, no pain, whatever it is, the vice versa. So you really have to address your why, what you're trying to achieve, and the pain on why you want to enter business ownership for the first time.
Okay. If you could remove one unrealistic expectation from new franchise owners, it would be blank.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'd like to talk to the person who submitted this question. Um, I guess it goes back to the first question. It's similar to the first question in some regards that the brand is going to be responsible for your success. And what I mean by that is the day-to-day operation has to come from the franchisee, from you. You have to drive the ship, delegate, manage. The brand will not do that for you. So that's an unrealistic expectation that the brand is responsible for your success. What the brand is responsible for is developing the systems, the best practices, introducing new products, new services. So again, I think the unrealistic approach is that the brand is going to do everything for you.
Okay, great. When a candidate tells you that they want to be hands off, what you really listen for is blank.
It's why hands off, and what is their definition of hands off. We've talked about this before, Wendy, and I think there are a few episodes that we can kind of go back to when we hear that term semi-absentee.
Right.
um, you know Anyone who's telling you that you can own a business, be a semi-absentee owner, and just kind of turn the keys over from day one and put 5 hours a week into it or an hour a day is just really misleading you. They just want to sell you a franchise. They're not concerned about your success and whether you're going to be successful. If you want to be a hands off, as the question mentions, you still have to be prepared for 20, 25 hours a week to provide oversight.
Right.
And the challenge even becomes greater as a semi-absentee if you are looking at a service-based business and not a retail type business. If you are a owner that is traveling for your quote corporate position, you're all over the place, you're traveling, uh, it's not going to work. Not unless you're going to hire a general manager from day one and you happen to know that general manager who can run that business. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a spouse or a significant other, but you really need somebody to have boots on the ground for that business that you can count on and trust. I steer my clients away from the mentality that you can have a semi-absentee business and do it 4 or 5 hours a week or an hour a day. Now, there are businesses that we have that are passive, that are 10 hours a week. They tend to be a higher investment, but they are out there, but they're not what we call service-based businesses.
Okay. And here's the last question. Number 6, the franchise owners who scale fastest usually understand blank earlier than others.
Rome wasn't built in a day. That's the best way I can tell you. I mean, really, I had this conversation, I think it was last week, with a client, a client that I had an intro call with, and then during the consultation, they mentioned to me that they have to earn $500,000 a year. So I
Okay.
said, great. I said that, those are ambitious goals. You may not get to it by one territory or two territories. We're going to have to strategize how we grow. And he said, no, you don't understand. I need to make $500,000 a year the first year. And I just kind of said, well, look, I said, are you earning $500,000 a year? And that's how you came up with this figure. And they said, yes. And I said, well, based on the information that you gave me and your LinkedIn profile, you've been with the same company for 20 years. So what makes you think? So unless you started out at $500,000 20 years
Right.
ago and you've never gotten a raise,
Yeah,
what
start
makes
over.
you think, you got to start over? I mean, you're not going to get, Rome was not built in a day. So there has to be an understanding that you have to scale. You potentially have to scale multiple territories, multiple units,
Right.
depending on whether it's brick and mortar, to get to those financial goals that you want to achieve.
Wow. But that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's again, it's that's the advantage of working with myself, theperfectfranchise.com, that this educational process that we have. We don't sell franchises. We offer an educational process at no cost to our clients to validate, and we have those questions you should be asking. It's and you don't want to make an investment based on speculation. You want to make it based on informed information validation.
Right. Well, that's all I have for this month. I'm sure we'll start getting more any day now.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Wendi, thanks very much. Again, Happy New
Sure.
Year to you.
Thank you. You
This
too.
is Scotty Milas, your host of Rapid Fire Q&A. Again, joined by Wendi Hill, president and founder of Market Momentum. Anyone looking for any marketing ideas, suggestions, or management, feel free to reach out to Wendi. You can find her on LinkedIn, and it's Wendi, Wendi Hill,
Thank you.
Market Momentum. I am Scotty Milas. You can reach me at scotty@theperfectfranchise.com. You can also reach me by phone, believe it or not, 413-935-5111. Visit some of our sites. Again, a reminder, go visit allthingsconsideredfranchising.com podcast on all your podcast channels. And that's it. Until next time, we will
Sounds
be
good.
back in February and looking forward to speaking to everybody.
That sounds
Talk
good.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.